We do have a problem at our hands, and this is the infernos that have already raised more than 10 schools at the beginning of the term. So the big question that everyone has in their minds, myself included, is what really causes the fires and what makes students to lit ablaze the same place they're supposed to get the best out of life and prepare themselves for the life after education?
The cause of the fire is that our students are fearing exams. So they don't want to do the exams and they have that exam anxiety.
Kuwe na kitu ya kupima watoto. Je, wanatumia dawa za kulevya? Je, wanatumia vitu ambazo zinawasukuma wafanye vituko kwa shule?
The children need also spiritual values, and without those values they cannot really think well, and they end up doing things which, for us, we see them, they are very stupid, but it's a way in which maybe they are expressing their frustration. So that's something which really we have to do something about, to also ensure that these children understand about the realities of life.
What is causing more this unrest is a communication breakdown. Maybe students, they have something that they feel they should communicate, but because there is that communication breakdown between the students and the teachers, I think that should also strengthen the issue of communication.
Before we get to the issue, Bridget, of who is to blame, I'd like to get your thoughts on the subject matter. I'll be looking at your tweets and your comments on Facebook. The handle is at NTV Kenya. If you search for NTV Kenya on Facebook, please also do drop your comments. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. But Bridget, on the blame game, some say it's indiscipline is the fault of the parents. Others say it's because of the educators. What did you hear when you spoke to the experts on this subject matter?
I think it all boils down to something to do with our collective responsibility, because according to Professor Kafu, he says the rot is with the parents. We do know that the foundation of any society is the family setup. So even as parents, they need to look at themselves. Some parents have come out to say, yes, they do believe that there's something wrong within the family setup. And so when we look at it holistically, not just from the teacher's perspective, not just from the education ministry perspective, and also from the parents or the students' perspective, actually I tend to think that we would have even spoken with some students if we were given the chance to really get to the root cause of all this. Fire is just an indication of something is wrong. According to Professor Kafu, I do quote him so much because he has a wealth of experience. You cannot begin to quantify 60 years of knowledge in terms of the education in this country. I do believe he says that the point is even in the management of education. We went ahead to have different departments. We have NEC, we have the Institute of Curriculum Development, and then we also have TSC. These semi-autonomous institutions tend to also collide at one point in time. I can even give you a current scenario where NAT, which represents the teachers, is also fighting the employer, which is TSC. TSC is still under the Ministry of Education. So we do feel that there's a break and a huge gap between the connection between the teachers, the parents, and the schools or the government that is managing this education sector. But right now, let's just get to hear what other people feel on who exactly is to blame for this scenario.
Hata wale wenye wako mbele yetu kama wazazi wenye nafaa tuwafuate kama mfano bora. Already hao wamecollapse. System zao hazifunction.
I am blaming majorly the parents. The parents and the guardians, because they are the ones who knows the environment of the child more than the teacher. They know the environment of every child, those who are crooks, those who are disciplined, they are the parents. To show us this child is disciplined, this one is not as a problem.
Jambo la discipline linatoka nyumbani, halafu mtoto anaenda na ile tabia yake shuleni. Kwa hivyo huyu mtoto unaona akiwa anachoma shule, hilo jambo liko bado nyumbani.
Kwa sababu walikuwa wameenda kwa likizo mrefu. Hakuna ushauri walipewa ate kuitwa makansela wa kuwapea ati tunaweza kukaa namna hii, sasa tunataka kuchange. Hapo ndio shida inatokea. Hata wewe ukikaa zaidi ya mwaka mmoja lazima kuwe na change. Kwa hivyo wakuramia ni walimu. Hawakujibika kabisa vile inatakikana wajibike.
The people to blame are the students themselves. This is because our students don't tell us what problem they are facing so that we can encourage them. They are only doing whatever they think in any time due to peer pressure.
Mzazi wengine mtoto akitoka wataki kujua huyu mtoto amefika shuleni ama hajafika. Anafika nyumbani hata hataki kushika ile kitabu. Watoto wengi wanashinda mitaani.